Okay. So this is obviously overcoming your habits and patterns and finding your motivation for change. And I'm Natalie. I am a life coach here in Fort Lauderdale, and I work with women in their late 20s through 60s, professional women, to help them increase their self-confidence and know their self-worth to achieve their goals. I'm not sure if you're familiar with life coaching. A lot of people, a little bit, yeah. A lot of people tell me, well, I've heard about life coaching, and I don't really know what it is. Are you a therapist? Are you a consultant? So I'm just going to tell you real quickly before we jump in to the workshop what that is. So as a life coach, I help people achieve their goals, and that can be by overcoming any barriers and challenges that you might have. So, for example, like let's say you wanted to start your own business, but you have this fear of failure. I help you work through those fears to overcome what's holding you back, and then also help you take action steps to do the research and whatever else you would need to do to figure out what business do I want to start and how do I start it, and hold you accountable so that you can create that business that you want. I'm not a therapist, so if I see somebody that I'm working with and they have depression, or they're having marital issues, or they have trauma issues from childhood that haven't been worked out, I would refer them to a therapist because I don't do that as a life coach. And I do have some clients though that work with me and therapists, so they might be working on some trauma issues from childhood, and I'm helping them on what do you want to create right now and going forward, and overcoming barriers that are getting in the way. So that's a little bit about life coaching. It's different than consulting in that I won't sit here and say, okay, Danielle, here's your plan to create your business. Do boom, 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 boom. I will support you and hold you accountable and ask you powerful questions for you to come up with your own answers and solutions to what steps you need to take. And from time to time, I might say, hey, can I make a suggestion? And most people will say yes, and then I'll share my suggestion. But life coaching is really powerful, and you have all the answers right in here, and I'm just your guide to help you get the results that you want to achieve. Yeah. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into finding motivation for change. So my first question to you, and you kind of shared it a little bit with me, was what is something you have a hard time getting yourself motivated to do? So you shared with me that you said you're good at getting yourself started, but it's the continuing part that's a challenge. So what is something specifically that you have a hard time getting yourself motivated to do? And so I'll give you just a quick example. It could be for some people it's losing weight. For other people it's starting an exercise program. So for you, would you mind sharing with me, like, what's something you have a hard time getting yourself motivated to do?
I would say, well, for one, consistently exercising. So I will be good for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then life will kind of get in the way, and then, I fall off and probably start again the following month, and it's like the same cycle. So I will say that. And also, like, pushing myself outside of my boundaries in regards to trying new things. Like, for instance, I'm doing well so far, but there is kind of a fear that I may fall off within a month or two and, like, not join any meetups or try not to meet people for whatever reason, because maybe work gets busy and, I don't know, life happens. So, yeah, I feel like those are, like, the two main things right now that I have to challenge, like staying motivated and doing that.
Well, for most people, these things are hard and challenging, and to overcome those challenges, we look at motivation. So motivation is very specific to the individual. We each have our own unique motivators. What might motivate me to exercise could be totally different than what you want to be motivated to exercise. And so tonight we're going to come up with anywhere from 3 to 10 unique motivators for you to achieve this goal. Do you have a piece of paper and pen, or are you on your computer and you're going to type on like a Word document? Okay.
Yeah, I'm typing.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. So now I do want to share with you that while we're going to work on tonight looking at our motivators, a lot of times we do have what's called limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And limiting beliefs can get in our way as well. So we might have a limiting belief of, well, no matter how much exercise I do, I'm never going to be in good shape. Or no matter how much exercise I do, I'm never going to be able to run that do that triathlon. So those are things that when I coach people, we get into, we dig down and see what are your limiting beliefs. But for tonight, we're going to look at just motivators. And for some people, that's all it takes. And for some people, we need to look at your limiting beliefs as well. So just want you to be aware that, tonight we're focusing in on motivators, and there may be some other things deep down that you're not aware of that are getting in your way.
Okay.
So before we jump into more of the coming up with your unique motivators and what's getting in the way, one of the things I mentioned on Meetup was that we were going to come up with a goal, what we call a SMART goal. So I don't know if you're familiar with the term SMART goal. It's specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic for you, not me, because you're a unique individual. And then timely, like I want to do this by X date. So I would like you to kind of start off now with creating what you want your goal to be, and then we're going to break down what the motivators are. So, and if you'd like, because, it's just you and I, we can do both of your goals if you'd like. I heard you talk about the exercise consistently, and then I think you also mentioned about you're afraid that you're going to stop going to events or meetups and be able to meet people. Mm-hmm. So like starting with your exercise, like what would be a realistic SMART goal? Something, like, in other words, how often would you want to exercise? What kind of exercise do you want to do? When do you want to start it by? And then when do you want to say, I'm consistently doing it? So in other words, do you want to give yourself a month to be consistently doing it? Do you want to give yourself 2 months? Like, it has to be your goal. So I'm not going to say, hey, Danielle, well, you really should be doing this in 1 month. You know your schedule and your life and your commitments and responsibilities. So, I'm going to give you a minute now to think about what goal you'd like to create for both the exercise and putting yourself out there and meeting new people. Okay, good. Christina just joined us. Oh, Christiania. How do you say your name? Let's see. Hi, Christiania? Hello. Let's see if I can unmute her. Okay, there you go. You're unmuted. Hi.
Hello.
How do you pronounce your name? I don't want to say it wrong.
Christania.
Christania. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So we have a nice small group. This is Danielle, and I was just sharing with Danielle that tonight we're talking about overcoming habits and patterns and finding your motivation to change, and how each of us has our own unique motivators. So what motivates me might be totally different than what motivates you. And so what I asked Danielle and she shared with me was what are 1 or 2 things that she wants, habit or pattern that she wants to change. And we're going to then talk about her motivators for those habits and patterns. So right now, she was coming up with what her goal is on these habits and patterns. So it's okay, Danielle, I can share one of them?
Sure.
Okay. So one of her goals that she wants to work on is exercising, but exercising consistently. So she gets started, but then she stops. Mm-hmm. So do you have a piece of paper and pen with you? Because I'm asking everybody to write down what is your habit or pattern that's getting in the way, and then setting a goal around it. So is there something,
Let me grab that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what is, and again, everything we talk about is confidential between the three of us, so I hope you'll feel comfortable sharing. So what is something you have a hard time getting yourself motivated to do? So, we talked about, for Danielle, it's exercise. For some people, it's losing weight. For other people, it's paying their bills.
No, I could definitely relate with setting a habit with just going to the gym before work. So that definitely resonates.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do before we jump in more on talk about motivators is to create what's called a SMART goal. So a SMART goal is specific, it's measurable, achievable and realistic, and then a time factor. So in other words, I'm going to go walking 3 times a week for 30 minutes starting this Saturday, and I want to be consistently doing it by November 30th. That would be a SMART goal because it's specific, it's measurable. So take a minute and then I want you to write it down on the piece of paper, because it's important. When we write our goals down, we make them more real, because we're staring at it on the paper, and it kind of holds us more accountable. Otherwise, sometimes we go, well, it's in my head, but then we forget about it. Yeah. So while you're doing that, Danielle, do you want to share what was your specific SMART goal that you came up with?
Okay, so for exercise, mine was taking a spinning class at least 2 to 3 times a week. And for me, for the length of time for consistency would be like a month. So I feel like if I do that for a month, then I will start forming the habit and I'll consistently go. For like the meeting new people goal, I want to attend at least 3 meetups once a month, and that's either virtual or in person. And I want to, for consistency, like for 2 months, I would say.
Nice. Okay. That sounds great. And Christine, what about you? What SMART goal have you come up with?
Oh, that was really fast. So what I was thinking, and I haven't written it down yet. No, it's okay. I know we're a small group. So the goal that I really want to get to a place of doing more consistently is just going to the gym. I just have to make it there, right? Because the class is already there. I just have to make it there. So at least 3 times a week. 4 is ideal, but 3 I'll be happy with. So if I do, let's say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on a weekly, actually, realistically, Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, every week at 7, starting next week.
Okay, so you're going to start next week. Yeah, so you're going to start next week.
Format to follow.
Yeah, and then by what date do you want to be consistently doing this? Because it's becoming a new habit. You have a habit now of either not going or maybe like skipping, right, or maybe going once a week, right? So by what date do you want to say I'm consistently doing this?
Oh, okay. I don't know why November 15th is coming up. So November 15th.
Okay, great. And, we're doing this now in the workshop, but when we finish the workshop, if you say, that's not such a realistic date and you have to adjust it, that's okay. But for purposes of the workshop, I want you to get in that habit of making this goal specific and measurable, because, again, it's holding yourself accountable. And if we go, well, whenever, and you might never do your goal for whenever, right? So now you have a date that you're going to be looking at and going, oh, I promised myself I'm going to do this by November 15th. So, and again, you can change it tonight or tomorrow, but for now, that's, we're going to go with. Okay. So So now we're going to jump in, and we're going to come up by the end of this workshop. You're each going to have about 3 to 10 unique motivators for helping you achieve your goal. So sometimes we're motivated by what we call positive motivators, and others are motivated by what we call negative motivation. So we're going to talk about both. So for now, I want you to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is not motivated and 10 is very motivated, how motivated are you to overcome this habit or pattern of not, I'm just going to say not exercising because both of you are using that, but of course, Danielle, you can either just do one today with me, or if you want to do both, go for it. So I want you to write down on a piece of paper how motivated you are to overcome this habit or pattern that you have. And then if you guys are willing to share, you want to just tell me, you can just shout out a number. There's no judgment here.
I would say 8 for me.
Okay.
I'm at a 7.
You're a 7. Okay, good. So you're not like super non-motivated. You're, anything above a 6 or a 7, we say, okay, just fairly motivated. So now I want you to think about, you're not at a 10 or a 9. So what's in the way? What needs to happen to get you to be a 10? So I see the wheels turning. So I'm going to give you an example if this might help. But again, we all have our own things going on that motivate us, that we need to change or will get us to feel more motivated. So let's say, for example, because you both chose exercise, you might say, well, what would get me to a 10 is if I hired a personal trainer, because I'd have some support and help and they'd hold me accountable. Or you could might say, oh, I need a workout buddy. So if I found my best friend and she committed or he committed and we went to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, that would get me to a 10. So I want you both to think about what's in the way of getting to a 10, and then just jot it down. You don't have to share it with me on this one, but I just want you to think about what would get you to a 10.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Now, I want you to actually, my next question for you guys to think about is, what is your motivation for going to the gym or exercising? Why do you do it? What is your motivation for doing it?
Okay.
And on this one, I'd love it if you guys want to share 1 or 2 things, because you both might have totally different motivation for going to the gym or exercising.
I would say for me right now is to keep me busy. I'm going through a breakup, so I want to fill my time as much as possible. So I feel like that's one way I can do that after work.
Okay, nice.
It's a total mood enhancer. It sets me up for the day.
It sets you up for the day. So it gives you energy, or?
My mood is completely different.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And see, I love the fact that both of you shared answers that were totally different, and not like my motivators for exercising, because I exercise almost every day. It's a stress reducer for me, and it lets me eat some things that, might not be always on the diet. So see, we're 3 unique individuals. So that's why I said, we all have our unique motivators. Okay, so you've shared that. So I want you to think also about what excites you about overcoming this challenge of, not consistently exercising. What excites you about it?
I don't want it to be a challenge anymore.
Okay.
I want it to just be a part of my day.
Okay. So and you might, jot down whatever you want from what you've shared.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. I'm going to give you another second because I hear the typing.
Okay, for me, mine is for it to be like a self-esteem booster. So it's like something I committed to, something that I'm seeing through. And then also, once I start doing it regularly, I know that I'll see changes in my body, and that'll give me more confidence.
Yeah. And that kind of segued into my next question, which what are the benefits? So they could be the same or they could be different. But I heard, when you shared, Danielle, some of their benefits. It excites you and it's also a benefit. So just take a minute, though, and also think, are there any other benefits of consistently exercising for you? I'll give you some other examples. For some people, it could be getting off their medications. Like they might be on high blood pressure medication, and by exercising, they could come off of that. It could be having more energy. Christina, you shared it's about the benefit is an improved mood for you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does anything else come to mind that you want to share?
I wrote down stronger, healthier.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So now I want you both to think for a minute, how would your life be positively impacted if you achieve this goal? And sort of related to how your life would be positively impacted, I want you to think about how would you feel. So you might say, I would feel happy, I might feel joyful, I might feel confident or more confident, I might feel successful, like put a check mark next to that because I did it. Mm-hmm. So again, for each of you, it could be totally different, but I want you to just think for a minute, how would you feel if like for 3 months from now you're talking to your best friend or your sister or brother and you're like, I am so excited. I am going to exercise consistently and I'm feeling great, however you would feel. Anybody want to share?
Well, for me, I would feel definitely confident and accomplished.
Yeah, I like that, accomplished. Because, sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for things unless we think they're like work or other things. But that's a huge accomplishment. It is. Yeah. Christina, anything you want to share?
Yeah, that was the first word that came. Accomplished. Definitely a sense of accomplishment. Part of daily routine. Content. That's what
I love the fact that both of you came up with accomplished, because I learn things every day from people and I'm like, I never thought about that. I like that. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about what I call positive motivators. And now we're going to kind of switch to the other side, and we're going to talk about more of like negative motivators. So I want you to think about, what will you miss out on in your life if you don't overcome this challenge? So if in 6 months I ran into both of you and we were chatting, and you said, I'm still not exercising consistently, what would you miss out on if you didn't overcome this? And I'll give you guys just a quick example. I always like to just throw one out there. So let's say for somebody who's going like on a family vacation, but they're out of shape and they're not exercising, and they're like, I can't go on that hiking vacation with my family because I'm so out of shape I can't keep up, right? So they would be missing out on a family vacation. So that's just an example. It may not be what yours is. And then, anything come to mind?
For me, the only thing that really comes to mind is just like not making it a habit sooner, because I want to make it a habit so as I get older, it's not difficult to exercise. Because I always want to be moving my body in some regard as I get older. So I just feel like I don't want to wait like another year or two when it, I'm older, it's a little bit harder. I just want to make it a habit sooner rather than later. So I feel
Okay, but if you didn't make this change, what would you miss out on? Like, would you miss out on feeling better, feeling more accomplished?
feeling
confident?
better.
Yeah.
Possibly missing out on, I don't know, building relationships or possible friendships that may, I don't know, lead to something.
Yeah, those are all good.
Yeah.
And kind of related to that question I'll ask you is like, what will you regret? Like, if in 6 months I ran into you and you hadn't changed, what would you regret about not changing?
That same feeling of like, oh, I should have gotten up early to go to the gym. And then I don't know if I was going to miss out on that, but I'm still going to carry that feeling of shame and guilt. And then in the morning when I get home and I did go to the gym, I'm so like joyful and smiling, and those are some of the things that I would miss out on because it's just a complete difference to me when I do exercise and when I don't exercise, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to not get that workout in, I would miss out on that feeling of joy.
Yeah. So I hear you saying like you would miss out on that positive mood that it gives you that you shared with us earlier. Yeah. And that was kind of, you segued right into my next question, which was how would you feel? Would you feel sad, disappointed, bad, upset, angry? So you shared a little bit. I don't know, Danielle, if anything else comes to mind for you.
I guess like the main one would be disappointed.
Disappointed. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have talked about our positive motivators. We've talked a little bit now about our negative motivators and how we would feel. So I would like you guys to do an exercise with me where I want you to close your eyes for a minute or two. So, when you're done writing down whatever you want to write, I'm ready. And we're going to do what we call a visioning exercise. I don't know if either one of you have ever done it. So if you haven't, don't worry. There's no rules or right way to do it. I basically want you to just close your eyes, and I want you to envision yourself overcoming this challenge. So overcoming the lack of consistency in exercise. And I want you to see yourself and feel yourself achieving this goal, the goal that you set for yourself. And what does it feel like? Like, how are you feeling in your body? Are you feeling joyful? You're feeling great because you're in a great mood now because you just got back and you've been doing this for 6 months and you're feeling fantastic. And see yourself. Like, how do you look? Are you in your gym shorts and a t-shirt or a bathing suit or, whatever you want to do for your exercise? I want you to see yourself for a minute. And just see and feel yourself in your mind's eye, in your vision. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just let me know. So how did that feel for you? Could you see yourself? Could you vision yourself having achieved that? No. Have either one of you ever done visioning before like that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about you, Christina?
I have, but for some reason I couldn't see myself.
Okay. So what was getting in the way?
I don't know. I've had bouts. Okay, so I've gone up and down in weight, and I saw an older version of myself at my lowest weight. That's what came up. So
okay. Well, there's no right or wrong. I mean, like when you said, well, it was hard to do it, but it was that older self how you see yourself after you've achieving this goal?
Mhm.
Okay, then yeah, I think it did work. You envisioned yourself how you would look and feel when you've achieved that goal. So there's nothing wrong. Sometimes we draw back on what we used to look like. Sometimes I've had clients who will pull out a picture and they're wearing their favorite dress that they no longer fit into, and they put it up on their bathroom mirror or on their closet, or they physically take the dress out and hang it on their closet door. So there's really no right or wrong way to do the visioning exercises. So I think that's perfectly fine. And, I would encourage both of you going forward as you work on this goal, because I really hope that you will take this goal on and work on it, that you just try, once a day. And it doesn't have to be 5-10 minutes. We did it for like a minute to just really vision yourself achieving it, because that is another piece that really helps us with achieving goals in life, is to see ourselves as if we've already have what we want. So just, try it again. So now, yeah. So, Danielle, do you want to share it all, how it was for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw myself like on the spinning bike, just doing it and like feeling more confident because it's a lot easier for me to do, and just being like, wow, I can't believe, 6 months ago, like I probably couldn't have gotten through a whole class, and now I'm doing it with ease, kind of
Nice.
thing. Yeah, so I just saw myself like on the bike pedaling and like having a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Christina, what I thought of too, and again, there was no right or wrong, it's your vision, but I kind of like wanted to steal or borrow from Danielle's vision for a minute, if it's helpful for you. Maybe, the next time you practice the vision exercise, borrow what Danielle did. Whatever you like to do. I think I heard you say going to the gym. I don't know what you do at the gym. What kind of class do you take, or do you use the weights? Do you ride the bicycle? But maybe use that as a way to help further your vision of yourself doing it. So again, you could see yourself as you were, like you said, previous years when you were in better shape, but you can also, so you could do both, but I liked, borrowing Danielle's, of whatever it is you like to exercise to do. Like I walk, so I can envision myself walking down my neighborhood, seeing the trees, because I know where all the mango trees are in my neighborhood, and the avocado tree, so that's how I envision myself, because it's my neighborhood. So yeah, whatever works. Okay. So now what I want you guys both to do is take a clean piece of paper. So I know you're on the computer, Danielle. I don't know if both of you are. So just take a clean Word document or whatever your program you're using. And I want you to write down your unique motivators for achieving this goal. So we did that earlier on in the exercise when I asked you, what are your motivators for achieving this goal? And you might have come up with anywhere from 2 to 10. And I want you to write that down on just the blank piece of paper or blank Word document, not anything else, because you wrote down a lot of things, right? We talked about negative motivators. We talked about what you'd have to do to make it a 10. I don't want you to write any of that down. I want you to only write down what your motivators were. So like, for example, Christiana, you talked about I'll feel in a better mood in the morning when I wake up, right? And also I'll feel a sense of achievement. And I know, Danielle, you also mentioned, feeling a sense of achievement and confidence. So I want you to write down right now. I'm going to give you, take a minute or two and write down just the motivators. And then when you guys are done, just let me know.
Okay, I'm done.
Christine, are you still writing?
All done.
Oh, done. Okay. So I'm just curious now. You don't have to read the whole list, but like, so how many motivators did each of you write down?
I put like 3.
Okay.
6.
6. Okay, great. There's no right number. I was just curious. So what I want you to do with this list is something I encourage clients to do many times, and I've done it for myself. So I know you may have typed it on a computer, but I'm going to ask you tonight or tomorrow to either print it or, get some old-fashioned index cards. And I want you to write down for you, Danielle, your 3, and Christina, your 6 motivators. And I want you to put it in 2 places that you're going to see every day. So if you need any suggestions, my first place is your bathroom mirror, because we brush our teeth multiple times a day, we go to the bathroom, we wash our face. Stick it with some tape and put it up on your mirror. The other place you could put it, and again, you each have unique lives. I don't know what your lives are like every day, but I've had clients put it on the refrigerator because, again, we go in there quite a bit. I've had people put it on their dashboard in their car because you might be driving in your car a lot. If you're working from home, I know, Danielle, you are, you could stick it on your, computer monitor, or if you have a laptop, like right on the top of it or next to it on your desk, wherever you work. But the point is, I want you to put this list somewhere where you're going to see it every day, multiple times a day. Because this is reinforcing why you want to achieve your goal and why you're going to achieve your goal. And a lot of times what happens is we're great at getting started, like Danielle shared that with me earlier, and then we lose our focus. But when we see something every day, it forces us and reminds us, this is why I'm doing it, right? So when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I really don't feel like getting on my gym shorts and going to the gym, and you get up to go to the bathroom, you're going to see your list of motivators on the mirror, and it's going to make you stop and think, do I really want to blow this off today? And then you're reminded that, well, when I go, I feel great because it puts me in a great mood, and I really feel a sense of achievement, right? So it takes time to create new habits and patterns, just like it took time to create the current habits and patterns that you guys have now. So I find this to be really helpful, and as I shared with Danielle when she got on, this is your tool, your takeaway from the workshop that you can look at and remind yourself. And you can do this for other goals. If there's other things you want to work on that you're feeling challenged with habit and pattern, you can do the exercise and come up with motivators for this. So think about it. You don't have to tell me, but, again, make 2 copies of it tonight or tomorrow. Print it from the computer and put it somewhere where you're going to see it on a consistent basis, and that's going to help you a lot with getting into this new habit and pattern. Now, Christina, I did share with Danielle earlier that we work tonight on motivators, and that's a big part of getting us to do things that we have habits and patterns that we want to change. Sometimes, though, we also have what we call limiting beliefs that hold us back. So that's another topic for another night. You may or may not have limiting beliefs. So, for example, you might have a limiting belief that no matter how much exercise I do, I'm never going to feel good enough, or I'm never going to look good enough, or whatever. That's a limiting belief that somebody might have. And those will get in the way. Even when we have our motivation, they pop up sometimes when we don't want them to. So, that's something I coach on with clients. I just want you to be aware of it. It may not come up at all. This is one piece of that puzzle of helping you create that new habit and pattern. Yeah. So I'd love to just open it up to any questions that both of you have about what we talked about tonight, or any challenges that you foresee.
No questions from me yet.
Okay. Was this helpful for both of you?
Yeah, I found that.
Good. Good. Okay. So I did want to just thank both of you for coming and being here tonight. If you guys are, let's see, I want to put in, we have chat room. Here's chat room. So I'm just going to put my website in if you'd like to learn more about me and what I do in life coaching. Make sure I spelled it correctly. Yeah, amazing transition. I do offer free 1-hour consultation. If you want to talk more about certain things you'd like to achieve in your life, goals that you have, what's getting in the way. And in the hour, and sometimes it's an hour and a half consultation, we'll actually jump into coaching so you can get a taste of what is it really like to do life coaching, because I can tell you verbally, but most people, until you've experienced life coaching, you don't really know the power of it or understand how it works. So, if it's something both of you are interested in, feel free to, reach out to me through my website or through Meetup, and, I'm happy to talk to you some more. And I've enjoyed being with both of you and, just working on this and seeing, like I said, I learned something from both of you tonight about another thing that, that you might feel like a sense of achievement from overcoming this habit pattern. So I'm going to add that to my next workshop. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Well, have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully I'll see you at one of the meetup events.
All righty. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have
Bye.
a good one. Bye-bye.